Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2, a clash of nations, a clash of styles, and a clash of some of the best players in the world. South Korea versus France, Team KIMCHI versus Team Baguette. Let me introduce you. On the Korean side, you know him. You love him. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see this live, so we don't get the, there will be in-game comms, but we don't get to hear them, so disappointing. But, you take all. Kiwian, so generous. Oh yeah, it's Kiwian, formerly known as Top, sometimes known as Top. One of the very first GSL finalists in 2010, maybe early 2011, I'm not sure. I see. But for Team Baguette from Infinity Gaming, it is Denver. But it won't be fun for you. Sadness. Let me see if I have, of course it'll be on the thumbnail. Okay. Now the chat meta is very important. Let me just, there are other teammates, 2 players on each team. Of course. The biggest dick boy. Parting. And for Team France, for Team Baguette, it will be Clem. But this was the first match. Kicking it off. I'm pretty sure it's first to 4 games, but there's 2v2s, and it's a pretty fluid format. Let's put it that way. So I wouldn't worry too particularly much about the scores. It's about who's winning the chat game. That is the most important. Oh yes. Let me bring this up. I didn't. Well, if this is on YouTube, like and subscribe and be like, why didn't you watch it live, Winter? I want to hear what Parting has to say very loudly, eardrum splittingly. But you've already seen this. But for those of you watching live, here is Kiwian's incredible graphic design for this match. So, it's West server. Oh, they're playing on the NA server to split the difference because EU to Korea has ridiculous ping. They both have probably around 150 ping to NA. So that is in this international world the middle ground we find, literally. Okay, with that out of the way. Winter, talk about the game! You're as bad as Tastosis!
You have to be kidding me that anyone can be this bad!
Is that a blue flame? Kiwi, I'm stuck in 2010. A blue flame Hellion build. With an armory. What is this? The Korean barbecue build. Wait, where's the second factory? It's been a while. This was a popular Heart of the Swarm build. You rush blue flame, you get the armory for the Hellbats, and bring in. It's not so popular anymore because if it gets scouted, it's pretty easy to get enough queens and roaches out, or maybe just banelings. But the Korean barbecue build, one of the strongest, starting it off. Kiwian trying to keep things lit. Interesting. Oh, wait. There's a Terran and a Protoss versus a Terran Zerg. I'm thinking about too many things. Let's think about how well this does. Oh, no! The Queens, the Knitting Crew. Spot the Medevac. Takes a lot of damage. Spore Crawler moving to intercept. Spore Crawler a little on the slow side of things. Easily outmaneuvered. Hellbats transforming. One escapes. Just incredible walrus micro there. Oh, be careful with that thing. Every point of HP on those Hellbats is a point of contention. Down goes the medevac, but the positioning is great here. There's also a Hellbat attack at the third, but the Queens will shut it down. Queen dies, but... Oh, Blue Flame is done, but that isn't a huge factor right now when you only have one Hellbat. Alright, so that did... pretty little. Pretty little. That didn't do much. A Spire is on the way. Of course, more factories. When you go for double factory, you kind of just have to go mech. You don't really got many options on the table there. Denver. I imagine he expects this. Does he have a Roach Warren done? He does not, but he's getting a Spire. And another important point. Hellbats are not anti-air units. Though, what if they could be? What if you could strap a Hellbat to the front of your medevac like a Mad Max, especially with these Hellbats, and just use that to like melee range burn the mutas? That would be fair. But the reason those Hellbats are easily killed is because in the main, more Blue Flame Hellbats. He spots the Spire as well. A Thor is already in production. He's going to flip a couple Hellbats into the third. He's not done yet. Trying to drop on top of the drones, but the Lings pop out at the most fortuitous timing. Alright. The Spire will finish. Denver, he knows the Spire was scouted. He's only got 51 drones. I say only. It's not a bad number, but the key point is no evolution chambers. No upgrades, no Roach Warren, no Hydralisk Den. It is essentially just Mutas, Lings, and Banes right now, and up against a mech army composition, which he has to know he's going up against at this point. Here comes in another round of Hellions. He's just going to go for the straight-up Blue Flame attack. He's going to find some drones with it. How many kills is that? What, 18 kills total? I don't think they were all in this attack. It's a little more than I thought. He's been chipping away at drones left and right, and also in the back. And Kiwian just chilling. 3 bases. He's got 60 SCVs. He's already got upgrades. He's got 3 factories done, which is a little on the lower side. So that is a redeeming quality here for Denver. There isn't going to be enough production to put together a dangerous or at least a game-ending attack for a little while. He's going to want to add at least a few more factories on, 2 or 3. Or maybe go into Starport, but probably not. The one thing I'm getting concerned for Kiwian is literally just 3 factories isn't going to cut it. While Denver was kept at bay, he was kept busy. Where's that scan? He's scanning the natural, looking for other tech. He already saw the Spire in the main. He's been preparing for it for a while. And now finally there will be mutas. But Kiwian is more than ready. 2 Evo chambers. These are dramatically late right now. He's going for... like, mutas are not an incredible counter... Oh. What? What? How did you... What? What? How does that get any kills? Kiwian, wake up. I'm sure Parting... I don't know if they were on voice chat at the time, but if they were, Parting, I'm sure, either left or broke Kiwian's eardrums. Those are really the only 2 options. What? Okay, so the Banelings actually opened up an opportunity for the mutas to kill the turret. Unfortunately, a couple mutas went down. 1 muta to that Widow Mine. But there was also a Widow Mine hit on the other side. In true Korean player style, I assume Kiwian or Parting hosted the match. And that means they didn't host it with the WCS Game Heart overlay that allows us to have those fancy stats like seeing how many workers are killed recently. Because they never do, and it's super annoying for online tournaments. So sticking with the trends. Another turret goes down. Both sides have gotten a solid economy. 4 bases. Oh, another Widow Mine. How many kills? So Denver is spreading creep on top of where his hatchery's supposed to go. He might deal with that later. He's going mutas. Mutas? Like... I'm waiting for the clip-worthy double Thor shot. Because 2... all it takes are 2 volleys of +2 attack Thors with their splash damage, javelin missiles, to kill mutas. So if a clump of mutas flies into 2 Thors with +2 attack, which they're about to have, Goodbye. A cloud of red mist is all that's left of them. It is a ridiculously effective upgrade against them, and that's a big part of why people don't go mass muta against mech. Denver has kind of taken some serious liberties over here on the map. He doesn't have much tech. Oh, another Widow Mine! Oh, wait, how does that not hit? He's going for the turrets. He's almost at one-shot potential. The armories are vulnerable. A turret, they're not doing... He's got how many mutas? 29 mutas. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm stressed out just seeing this many mutas. This is not muta list. This is muta risks right here. That's 3,000 gas. That's multiple minutes of gas invested. And he's killed turrets. Sure, he's picked off a few units and SCVs. Okay, but what happens when Kiwian walks across the map? 3 Thors, 12 Cyclones. In fact, I think Kiwian's holding off the Thors, mostly because... Oh, the Widowmine blocks the Hydra Den! I don't think Denver noticed! Because he's microing his mutas. The mutas are fighting... Wait, does this work? The Widowmine burrowed, right? I can't... Oh, God! I don't understand how this math works here. There are so many mutas, and they do a lot... Like, they counter the Cyclones, but the Thors... Oh, like, look at that. They only one Valley. Did the Hydra Den ever build? The Hydra Den never built. That Widowmine at 3 HP that happened to be walking by. The Hydra Den for lurkers. I'd imagine this has to be for lurkers. Well, Hydras themselves would also be good. Anything but Mutiling Bane. He still doesn't have a Hydra Den. The Widowmine may decide this game. Just happening by the exact location where a Hydra Den was supposed to be built. The Muta's looking for an opportunity, but Denver's maxed out, but he can't fight. That's the problem. Where's the Overseers? Where are they? A little late to the party, don't you think? Where's Overlord Speed? He just started it. Here comes Kiwian. He's got a Massling Bane. How many mines are in the mix there? About a dozen. Blue Flame Hellbats. Upgrades. +2, +1. Against 1/1/1 across the board. This, like... Okay, we're gonna have to get some Zerg highlight reel level surrounds, and it looks like he's going to. That's all, so many Banelings, and the Widowmine's getting dropped, but the Thors eat so. I don't. What? Everyone dies. Everyone dies. In come the mutas. Everyone dies. Besides the mutas. The mutas actually clean it up. So, huh? Okay. Well, no tanks, plus, the Widowmine's not really finding what they need. Oh no, oh my God, everyone dies. Murder. And one poke in, and suddenly another dozen mutas go down. He's lost 34, 14 left. He's got 92 drones, and he never built the Hydra Den. He's getting ranged attack upgrades. He doesn't have any I'm sure he's convinced he has 103 creep tumors. What a cancerous player. But he still hasn't realized the Hydra Den. There's no infestation pit. I don't know if this is some sort of challenge here. It's like, no. Either I make mutas or I die trying, and we're moving closer and closer to the latter option. Muta's looking for opportunities. There are Widow memes. Infestation pit starts. And I'm still crediting. If Denver wins this game, I'm crediting that Widowmine. That Widowmine that stopped the Hydra Den. Like, Hydra Ling in this scenario, if he had been able to refill with like 25 Hydras, which isn't out of the question for someone with 91 drones, Kiwian's at 90. Okay, that's not that far off. He has the army to beat what Kiwian has, but Mutiling Bane really struggles to actually end the game. That's the big weakness. Sure, you can surround and crush an army on your side of the map, on the creep, but when you come back to the planetaries, to the entrenched Widow Mines, to the turrets, things get exponentially more difficult! Oh my God! Meanwhile, the mutas are going for the main. They're going for the throne, the production. But this army is still chilling here. What are the upgrades? 3-2. Well upgraded mech, but the mutas are working through it. The Widowmines burrow, and that's too much for the mutas to deal with. This base is going to go down. Denver has plenty where that came from. He's going to lose a handful of drones. He can afford it. He's still making mutas. The absolute madman. Oh, no, 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 no! He's sacrificing mutas for Widowmine hits. I don't know about that, but a few lings make it by. The army of Kiwian is pulling back. This is starting to do real damage now. I don't know if he sniped. I don't think he sniped any add-ons. He's now getting 1 cyclone, 2 cyclone, 3 cyclone, blue cyclone. High-sec auto tracking on the way. Building armors are already done. So turrets are a little harder to take down. And then now they're going to be more dangerous as well. Not so much so, but he's still just going mutas. The hive starts at 16 minutes. He's been on 90 drones for this long. That is a low-tech situation. Oh, God! Before the Thor dies, gets a big chunk of those mutas. A heap and hunk of them. Oh, a couple Widowmines. He's going to want to split those lings. A little late on the draw. Creep. Spreading all the way into the forward rich Vespine base of Kiwian. Where are the Overseers? What are you, rationing? Where are they? You got Overlord speed. It's not like you don't build like 14 more Overseers and fly them over the Widowmines. What are you doing, Denver? Now is not the time for just skimping. You've got mass Mutalisk. They have +2 attack. I'm surprised they don't have +1 Carapace here. Oh my God, a whole line of mines. The mine line. No, watch out, watch. It takes 4 Widowmine hits, like 4 Widowmine splashes to kill a Muta, for reference, at full health. Even if it's not a direct hit, as long as they're within the radius. This base, Kiwian running around in circles. The thing is, like, Denver, what is your strategy? Lings and Lisks, and so many Banelings. He's starting to mine out of gas. The mains are mining out of both minerals and gas for both sides. Another Thor that does a lot of damage before those are 3-2 Thors, okay? They're not screwing around here. The Muta's still going. Denver running him around in circles. Kiwian just kind of chilling. Oof. How many Mutas? 73 Mutas have died in the making of this production. There's a scan. I don't know what. I think. Did he scan for creep? Maybe. Oh, no. God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, there's nowhere to run. Finally, the reckoning. And suddenly a critical mass of Mutas. But it's time for Baneling. Oh, wait. 6 Ultras. Never mind. Wait. And also Banelings, though. And also Banelings. No? Okay. 6 Ultras. And as we go down the list of units that definitely don't counter mech very well, he's picked out the Ultralisk. As an arguably great man once said, whenever I'm far ahead and I want to lose, I make Ultras. Let us see how this ends. Adrenal glands. Well, the upgrades are there. He's going on 3-3. He's caught up on that. The Mutas, well, thus ends the story of the Mutas, with very few left to remember the tale. Rest in pieces. The planetary softened up. Should be able to be taken down while Kiwian moves along the western front. The Ultras chop the planetary apart. And I'm sure Kiwian getting a little confused as to why those units are existing. Thor, Widowmine, Hellbat against Ultraling Bane and Infestors. Neural Parasite could be helpful. The Ultras are, like, the Thors can counter the Ultras, but if there's enough Ling Bane, they can muck everything up. Well, here we go again. Deja vu! We've just been to this fight before. Ultras from everywhere, but the Thors are holding the line. Are the Thors enough to kill the Ultras? He's microing back. They're pounding through the armor, and it looks like the Thors stand. Meanwhile, the Hellbats are working on the top left base. about the same amount of Ultras and Thors survive. He lost 4 Ultras in that fight. I'm not sure how many Thors, like a lot of Thors have gone down, but some of them are like Mutas and Lings, so. Oh, kill the base! Kill! Okay. Incidentally kills the base. Widow Mines are really clutching at this game. Meanwhile, Neural Parasite is on the way to take control. Well, if you can't beat them, have them beat them. That's the motto of the Infestor. But the Thors are pushing through. Denver, who once had all the money in the world, has spent it frivolously on some of the most expensive and least efficient units. Kiwian is pushing through. There will be one last fight. Neural Parasite, 10 seconds out. Tanks have been added into the army for Kiwian. Makes it a little easier to deal with that potential Neural. He scans the burrow! And Denver, his last gambit, is now looking even more of a long shot. Oh, god damn. Look at my jam. Hellions burning drones up until the AM, depending on your time zone. I know both these guys are on completely different time zones, obviously, but we'll see. Oh, and, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, oh, God! Well, Ultras are chopping through. Thors are beaten up. And then he turns on them. And Neurals. More Neurals! You know what beats Thors? Thors! What a choice! If you can't kill them, hire them. Okay, I've got a job for you boys. And wait a second, this game just turned all the way around! Thor's making the difference for both sides! Suddenly the supplies equalized. And we got a game again. Thor's prove. Wait, scan. Scan? I heard at least 3. Oh, he scanned the bottom right. Okay. Meanwhile, oh, another Widow Mine! Dun dun dun! Denver has 22 drones left, but he still has 5 Infestors, and he needs the Queens to transfuse these Hero Lisks. The problem is mules. Mules are a very serious problem. There's a bit of an income disparity here, in that Kiwian has income and Denver doesn't. This is the issue. 2 more Infestors, almost the very last of Denver's gas here. The Helvats came in and roasted a few more of the precious last drones. Oh, run! 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 Run, drones! Glide! You flap your little drone wings! Get out of there! It's getting too hot. Oh. Oh, the Hellbat's on the chair. There's a burrow queen! Get out from there! I don't know if anyone would ever notice that. It does. Brenda! Oh no, the queens! That's a full energy queen, by the way. A full energy queen could make the difference in a game like. No! That tanks! Oh, jeez, Infestors. Worth their weight in golden minerals and then some. Badly bruised Ultralisks. Gonna really, really struggle to close the distance if there's not something. Like a single Viper. He's building drones. We're 23 minutes in. You should have more than 23 drones, and he does, by 1. The northern base was taken. A Widow Mine's watching for more. The 2 mutas that survived all this, Kiwian has rebuilt a devastating army. Oh no. Oh, that's it. That's all oh. Ah! The queen! Come on, boys! Remember me! Let me up! At this point, though, this is the army. Liberators, tanks, and Thors. Oh god, there's a Widow Mine on the high ground with 16 kills. They're everywhere. The Hydra Den was never built. Oh, don't. Sticking your head in the sand isn't gonna solve all your problems here. This is a desperate, how many Infestors? 5 Infestors. That's 5 Neurals. Best case scenario. Oh, this planetary conveniently just finished. So down goes another base, but switching over to the left side. The bases are mining out for Kiwian. He only has some... I mean, same for Denver, but not as much because he's lost so many drones. This looks like death. This looks a lot like death here. There has to be a prayer. Like, no, run, Ultras! He needs to get the perfect neurals at the perfect time. Oh no! Disaster! Kiwian predicts, I mean, obviously. But, that's gonna be 1 point on the board for Team KIMCHI and 0 for Team Baguette so far. With Kiwian holding on. But, like, you know the Infestors. The Infestors kept Denver in the game. You gotta watch for them. A tough match. But now we move on to the most competitive and highest level StarCraft 2. And by that I mean 2 versus 2. Because, by definition, the amount of high-level players you can fit in a 2v2 is double that of a 1v1. So, that's just math. And now we get the full spread of the teams. Let's first introduce you. Once again, a Team KIMCHI joining his South Korean brother. The Dick Boy, the GSL quarter finalists. A man who, with natural talent, charisma, and and tolerance to alcohol, it is Parting. Joined by Kiwian, of course. And then Infinity Gaming for Team Baguette, Infinity Gaming's Denver, and then Team Liquid's Terran player, the Clem de la Creme of Team Baguette. Well, it's Clem. Making big moves, beating Cyril, beating Raynor, beating expectations. He is a dangerous player. I'm excited. He will be playing 1v1s, I believe, against Parting is the next match after this. So, after the hour-long 2v2, make sure to be ready for that. Yes, I'm sure. We've seen long 2v2s. This is one of the few community-created maps in 2 versus 2. The map pool in 2 versus 2 rotates very slowly, usually just 1 map per season. But recently they've been adding in community maps, and this is one of the first team game maps where you can actually macro, as in get more than 3 bases without being in your opponent's face. So that means you can see much more full-fledged games rather than turtling on 2 base. Oh yeah, maybe we should use team color. Ooh la la. Kiwian, once again, opening things up. Merci. How nice. Clem. No response is appropriate. A Stargate on the way for Parting. Stargate air unit's a staple of 2 versus 2 because you have a lot more cover underneath them. Usually the big weakness of going for heavy air units early on in 1v1 is simply your opponent can put together a ground-based push and kill you. But in 2v2 you have a ground-based teammate, potentially, who can help defend. And this is most obvious with things like Phoenixes. Wow. Some pretty incredible Reaper micro. You ever seen 2 Reapers kill an Adept? Well, without losing a Reaper? Well, that's how you do it. Also, there was a Marine involved as well. And it was a non-issue. Oh, wait, he did lose a Reaper. When did he lose a... When did that happen? Wait, no, that's Kiwian's Reaper. I'm so confused. Oh, wait, there was a... Either way, Clem's amazing. That's what I meant. The summary here, it's a little confusing when you have 2 of the same race on different teams. Clem is amazing. And that's the takeaway. Phoenixes take out the Ovi. Safe choice here. You got to be careful about your creep spread. That's why it's tough to play Zerg in team games, because your teammates can't build on your slime, as we've learned in the past. In fact, Denver has to kill his own creep tumor in order to open up an opportunity for Clem to take a third, creating even more issues. There is no such issue with Parting Kiwian, as obviously there's no creep. Meanwhile, the Reapers are coming in. Clem trying to do some counter damage. The Phoenixes just picking off whatever they can. Reapers make it into the main. Kiwian does have that Hellion. Oh my god. He can't kill it. Yeah, okay. I was like, what kind of magic are you pulling out with this one? Somehow dodges the Hellion shot. Oh my god. Through the jungle of Emerald City. In comes a Liberator. Really using those air units. A tough move thus far for Team Baguette. Oh, burrow. That's a very quick burrow. So, a lot of people have been theory crafting this. Burrow as a response to Phoenixes. Of course, it doesn't work as well when your teammate has scan, but I've seen a couple players give it a shot. Just going burrow in order to protect yourself against that Mass Phoenix play. And Parting definitely is going Mass Phoenix. He's already got a Fleet Bacon on the way. He's most of the way there. He's already built up, like, what, 7? 9 Phoenixes. And it appears that Denver has re-creeped onto where Clem misplaced his third, or maybe there was creep there. And now we're going to have to see more creep tumors killed. Just the logistical issues of having a Zerg on your team when you're not Zerg. I'm sure, like, Clem's like, well, I guess that's close enough. Or is it? Jesus. Burrow is done. Is it? Yeah, it's done. Was it a misclick? Maybe. We'll find out. What is Kiwian doing? Kiwian going bio. Clem already has his bio up and running. The worker counts about even across the board, but the initiative definitely going to Team KIMCHI. As when you have this many Phoenixes and your Terran players doing just fine, I'm already feeling this is already feeling really rough for Team Baguette. It's going to be nearly impossible to, 1, move out without being spotted, and 2, actually match your opponent's army. Right now, Denver, his unit count is 10 Zerglings. That's his contribution to the army supply. I don't think that's going to be the difference maker. Meanwhile, a turret ring, the TPM, and a sensor tower to help protect the obvious drop locations. Clem scans and he spots. What is Denver's play? Swarm hosts, maybe. Infestors. Fungal plus Marines is quite a combo. That's a lot of Phoenixes. 15 Swarm hosts. Phoenix is a pretty direct counter to Swarm hosts, especially once they have their range and +1, as well as have this many Phoenixes, but... Okay, well, those Zerglings, not incredible. Kiwian runs by with some Hellions. In fact, it looks like he's transitioning into mech. He decided to not go for bio, and the Swarm hosts are spotted. The Swarm Host trying to block. I don't know if Denver intentionally researched Burrow, because he's not really using any of it. That would be, if there was ever a time to burrow, that would probably be it. The Phoenix count, 20 Phoenixes. That's, not a super fun number here. The Swarm Host as well. Well, now, Parting only has Phoenixes. That's a lot of Swarm Hosts which can cover. The Phoenixes are moving into position to try to intercept some of these locusts. They're going to do a pretty great job of it as well. Clem is looking for an angle. Almost. Wow. Okay, well. Well, that didn't work. Not a single locust landed. A drop is... Clem's like, please. No. Dunked out of the sky. Team Baguette looking for alternative options. And despite being so far ahead on supply, it's just the unit compositions making this near impossible. Denver's the kicker. Like, Clem has to sit on his marine tank. He is the... Oh my god. He drops the locusts. A next level move. Because at least that way the Phoenixes can't kill them. Unfortunately, though, the siege tanks definitely can. Making this even more... Oh my god, he's almost locked down and killed a full medevac. Creep is all over. So Clem essentially can't really lift his bases here because of the creep. He won't be able to re-land it in those scenarios. Here, he's just off-center and he's dealt with that. But here comes the push. Team Baguette is effectively maxed out. It just doesn't feel like it is the problem. They just don't have the units. Carriers are on the way from Parting. Can Clem push through? There are no tanks here. There's not any marauders out of Clem, though. Oh, the tanks are moving forward, but a scan and a Viking gives a little vision. The Viking count for Kiwian. Air control. Well, you don't really need air control when you got Parting, but he's saying why not either way. The Queen. Brenda! Oh, no! Killed so fast. I mean, 20 Phoenixes with +1 in range. Yeah, your ground units aren't going to last long. That's a... Oh, my God. He has 36 Swarm Hosts! Holy... This is a receptionist convention of Swarm Hosts. He's really mono-battling it out. They will drop. The Phoenixes can't kill that many. It's a bloodbath. Do they get the Nexus? He's targeting. He gets it. There were multiple workers of both sides at that base for some reason. So, 36 Swarm Hosts. Trying to fit through one tiny little area. Maybe not the best. Oh, that's a lot of tanks up there. The Hell Clone moving through. And now this is an awkward army. Triple Nidus Swarm Host. If even one wave in the main could be devastating here. But you gotta get there. Clem's coming back to defend. The Spine Crawler's actually doing a pretty decent job. The Marines will stim to intercept the Cyclones. The Cyclones on a move command. Not that it would matter much anyways. Phoenix is moving to intercept. Oh, the Overseer just barely out of there. Phoenixes can't lift a Nidus Worm. Speaking of which, another Nidus in the center. A mothership is on the way for Parting. Oh, Clem gonna try to battle straight up. The Nidus itself is protected, but there are more Nidus. Oh God, the Marines did too many drugs and then got lit up. Meanwhile, the Niduses were decoys. The Locust heading towards the north and the south. He's got 39 Swarm Hosts. What is this, Heart of the Swarm Host? But remember those 2-hour games? The good old days. Am I right? No, I'm not. Mothership is on the way. +3 flyer attack. The Swarm Hosts are starting to be a little too much to handle. Team Baguette has taken about 2/3 of the map. Parting and Kiwian have maxed out, but it's hard to put together a coherent attack here. The army is very defensive. Sure, the phoenixes can stretch out and the carriers as well, but it's mostly reaction. Oh my god. It's so many swarm hosts. It looks like he's going to go Corruptor. I'm pretty sure the carriers... Yeah, I'm pretty sure the carriers were spotted based on the fact they're flying over creep right now. Nidus worms popping up like this is the last campaign mission of Wings of Liberty. Still, though, Team Kimchi is holding. Everybody chill. And now battle. Okay. One Cyclone dies. Clem tries to come in to take advantage of the Locust cover, but it's not much. Meanwhile, though, the Locusts! They kill a whole bunch of SCVs and force a lift. But here come the carriers. Can anything stop this army? How much money? Denver has so much money, he needs to lose his swarm host. He needs to lose his swarm host and build, like, I don't know, mutas. He's got to build... Wait, I don't know. He can't build mutas. He's got to build corruptors. But he can't build corruptors. He's got to build mutas. What does he do? What do they do? Club's coming in from the back, but tanks are starting to cover. They're running out of real estate right now. There's no backstab. There's no counterattack. The Nidus networks are going to be taken offline. Your Ethernet cable's about to get unplugged. He can pop out the swarm host, but Clem taps it out. Denver says, I ain't done with you boys yet. Never mind. Jimmy. Team Kimchi takes 2. But next up, the title match. It is Clem versus Parting. A best of 3 to decide. Well, if Clem wins 2, I'm not going to get into the math. I'm pretty sure if Clem wins 2, then they have an ace match, which would probably also be Clem versus Parting. I'm not sure what happened. I'm just going to press the button on the games. First, let me introduce you to the Dick Boy. Parting. And then, of course, tearing through a whole bunch of online tournaments lately. He's making a run for being not just the best foreign Terran, but one of the best Terrans. He is up against a very unique individual, both in terms of personality and in-game style, though. We'll see how Clem handles it. Does this Reaper block? Wait, but the... Okay. Purity and Industry, one of our newest maps, looks real fancy. Each side, rarely does this happen. Well, there are a lot of unique things. There's the main bases looking different, making it easier to distinguish what side you're on, but that's what the minimap is for. There's an island base. There's air bubulas, which slow down units trying to traverse the very short air distance in comparison to most maps. There's a gold base down here. That's about it. That's most of it. All right. What will Clem do? He's building the Reaper, but the Reaper wall will be spotted. So he knows he's going to have to deal with that. Reaper's going to... Is he actually going to tap on them? Of course. Parting just... He'll never expect me to have the probe in the most obvious possible spot. Just sitting at the watchtower. The dance. Nothing particularly out of the ordinary yet otherwise. Adept chases down. Stargate is on the way. Not particularly surprising either. Now the Adept will make its way across the map. Is a bunker? Bunker's done. Okay. Sometimes if there's a Stalker and an Adept, especially if you lose your Reaper, things can get a little dicey without a bunker. Starport's on the way. Clem's got 2 gas. And, I mean, the obvious play for both sides, despite the bubulas, it's still a very short air distance, even so. This might have been intentional. Maybe. No, where are you going? No, don't. Oh. Okay, a few things. I can't believe Parting. I can't believe Parting actually let that shade through. But also at the same time, Clem was microing and killing. I think he got 1 probe. Yeah. So, but did he see the Stargate? He saw. Well, obviously, he did not see the Stargate. So, it's not as great as it could be for Clem. Parting has a full scout. He knows the options. He saw the Hellion come out. It's likely going to be a medevac. There's already a Phoenix. Hellion just... What? No! Ah! That was the perfect opportunity. There's only 1 Stalker there. He could have killed those probes. He might... Oh, he's going to use it to block the 3rd. The Stalker's microing. And he's actually... Well, 1, avoiding obvious scouting. He's going around the bubulas. But that's the most obvious place to go! And the Phoenixes are already there! The Widow Mines, he picks up both! What a play. The medevac looks like it will escape. Or will it? Nope. The battle for the island is won easily by Parting, who carried over his Phoenixes into the next game. Yeah, that's not what you want. Clem trying to do the sneaky strat. I mean, it kind of feels like the most obvious place you could go is around the bubulas. And of course with Phoenixes, the entire intent is to shut down early harass, especially cheaper early harass, like Widow Mine drop, not so much like, I don't know, Cyclone pushes or something like that, even though they're still good against it. And then, if you're able to do that, you have map control and constant scouting. So Parting, realizing that, gets everything he wants. He's getting a Nexus, a Twilight Council, he got a Robo Bay, he has a Robo, he's getting a Forge, building observers. He has a grand total of 2 gateways, and he's doing all of this. And that is what going Phoenixes and cleanly dealing with the Widow Mine drop gives you. Effectively everything. Clem is just lining up into a tank push. And this is what you come to expect. This is kind of par for the course with Terran versus Protoss. A solid tank push is dangerous at almost any time. But has Parting reached too far on the tech play? Or does he have just enough? That's the question. How many tanks are there? Just 1, which is literally the least he could have. Aside from 0, obviously. There's a Colossus, a couple sentries. He's playing to the map. Clem, on the other hand, has kind of gone back to his default. One Stalker moves back. He spots the Colossi, and Clem at this point realizes... Like, I don't think he realized he flew over an observer, but... Oh god, Parting sees everything. The Phoenixes? Oh, that was a little sloppy. He didn't even lose a Phoenix, though. Moving to intercept in the main, but the Marines will pop out. Not all of them, though. 5 Marines make it. Meanwhile, trying to stem in. There's only 1 Colossus. The tank is firing on it. This is actually a great location, but there are 2 shield batteries. Doing what shield batteries do best. Shield. Clem realizes this is an optimistic fight at best. Extended Thermal Lance is done. 2 Colossi are done. The drop is gone. Is production up? He's getting barracks 4 and 5. But Parting just kind of... that was a little bit dangerous. But Clem just not able to find the damage he needs. Before now Parting... See, Parting isn't just going to sit back and be like, now I can macro up to a 4th. No, he's going to go kill him! He wants to go kill him! This is possibly the worst choke point you could ever come through. Parting doesn't seem to care. He probably should care a little bit. Like, I don't... that was, that... You literally couldn't find a worse... Oh, God. A worse choke point on the map. But Parting pushes through, and he comes out on top of the fight. It was a little more than he probably needed to lose. Now he doesn't have... He lost his sentries. I don't know how many phoenixes are left. 0, so that's not very many. But all that did for Clem was keep him from getting pressured immediately. Like, now that he won that fight, that means... Well, that... I was about to say, now Parting can't really attack in, but Parting does as Parting pleases, for better or for worse. And Clem has to deal with it. He's building up a strong army that the worker counts are even. Parting has been focusing a lot more on building up his production, especially his gateway production, going up to 10, rather than focusing on splash damage and upgrades and all those fancy, boring things. Charge is finishing. A single Marine. Might even pick up a probe killer, too. How fancy. Why do I keep saying fancy? Ah, it's the French. Ghosts on the way. Clem is building, like of all the people to use a composition, the late game Terran composition, you got your Liberators and or Vikings, Ghosts, Bio, Medivacs. He's one of the most competent. There are a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that can go wrong very quickly when you have all those important units. Whether it's Vikings out of position or EMPs not landing or Ghosts dying in front or the Bio getting slaughtered before the fight even starts. Well, we'll see how much happens here. The Vikings in a good spot. Stutter step back. Bio moves back. Already stripped away a lot of the shields. The Colossi knocked over by the Vikings. The charge lots were split off. He's chasing the Vikings. Another Colossus shows up to the party. He scans. He's going to go for it. That last Colossus is going to make things difficult. Clem really struggling in this fight, though. Even with the EMPs, there are just so goddamn many charge lots. Blinkstalker's moving forward. The boys being chopped apart. The Bio has to split on the high ground, but the economy is sacrificed in Parting. He takes it. That's 3 for KIMCHI. It just didn't come together in time. That game from the start pretty much was Parting. There wasn't really any redeeming damage or opportunities for Clem to do anything. So, and Parting doesn't let you sit there and try to build up. He's going to attack. He's going to push through a tiny choke point. Well, now that we're on match point, it's time for a quick advertisement. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter, and I'm here to tell you, if you like and subscribe this video, then find more videos like this one. Don't let autoplay just bring you that loco video or one of those channels that steals content from actual legitimate tournament organizations. No, you can ring the bell or even check out the playlists, which have all the types of content you want. Thank you. Thank you guys for sticking around. Match point here. Team KIMCHI versus Team Baguetti. That was the wrong replay. There's also an Archon mode match, which is what I really wanted the voice chat for. But that is not... Kiwian, why you give me these replays in this order? At the end of the match is an Archon mode. No, got Kiwian! Yes, I'm blaming Kiwian for this. There's no titles on them. They're literally all just like a dash and a dot. I think he titled them in Korean, and it didn't translate well. At all. That's what I think happened here. Okay. No, it did the same thing again. Oh. It is a best of 3 of Archon mode to decide. Oh, good to know. I get it. So here's what happened. The victors of the first match. Team KIMCHI, 3-0. But another match, sponsored by viewers apparently, is a best of 3 in Archon mode. I get it now. I understand it. So we have an Archon mode match. For those who don't know, 2 become 1. Both players can control all of what would usually be a single player. This can be a significant way to cause domestic strife. Let's see. We're gonna let the camera take over for a sec. I'm going to give you an example from last year. We'll be doing this again, but since we don't have the voice chat, I just want to give you an idea of what that looks like. So we're gonna bring that up as this game kicks off. That's not the one. Do you need the video, guys, or is this good? I'm looking for the video capture. Oh, it doesn't show. Okay. You got the gist of it. So, obviously very animated. Keep that in mind. And let's see what interesting here. So, now both teams have players of different races. What I've found from my limited Archon mode experience, one, it is the best way to lose your friends. And now, since as a Starcraft player you probably had little to no friends in the first place, it is the best way to make sure you keep that number low. And thus why Archon mode never took off. It made 1v1 have all the stress. It makes 1v1 have all the stress of a normal competitive Starcraft game. And also, all the stress of having teammates. All wrapped into one. So, if you want friends, play co-op or 2v2 or something. And now, additional level of strife on top. The main race of Kiwian is Terran. And the main race of Clem is Terran as well. This is Zerg versus Protoss. And I found that Zerg is definitely the most difficult, especially if you don't have Zerg players. To just casually do. It does give you the opportunity, like, once again, they could both control each other's units. Or they could both control everything at once, which you need to delegate, you need to communicate, more things that StarCraft players struggle at. I like this build out of Parting Kiwian. Team Kimchi here, opting for just a big, well, a warp prism, what seems to be Sentry all-in. We'll see. Especially if one of the players is dedicated to microing that perfectly. Whereas Team Baguette here is... There's not that much to micro for Zerg units early on. You can only get so much mileage out of Zerglings and Roaches and even, yes, Queens. As compared to, say, a Warp Prism. This is a dangerous attack. A whole bunch of Zealots warped in. They don't have charge, but do they need it? Guardian Shield used. Corrosive Bile micros out. I'd like to see who's actually microing. Let's look at the... Parting is microing, of course. Let's see who's microing on Team Baguette. It's Clem. Clem's doing it. He drops a couple Corrosive Biles. He's... Wait. Oh. Ah! Oh! The Prism dies! And so on and so forth. You see, we just need a couple clips, and we've got the gist of it. So that went very poorly. You had one job, and it was to keep the Warp Prism alive. That's all they needed to do. And then the Warp Prism died. And, well... You saw the rest. Team Baguette takes the match. This time, Team Kimchi picks Terran. Interesting. So, Terran has the most obvious split of micro and macro. Like, with Zerg and with Protoss, there's a lot of communication, and also you have to be on the same page when it comes to building units and or microing them. Like, as a Protoss, like, who's warping in? As a Zerg, what units are we building? As a Terran, you can kind of just do your Marine tank push, and one player takes those units and runs them across the map and sees what they can get done. And one player makes the units for them to run across, lose, and then yells at their teammate. Things are happening. Production tab. Nothing exciting. I was hoping there'd be, like, sometimes you'll see, like, the super intense cheeses, like maybe a 3-Rax Reaper or a Proxy Hatch. But no. With everything on the line. And by everything, I mean a fun game for the fans that I think the winner actually gets a little bit of extra money, but not a huge amount. The SCV, it has like little, it has caution tape on its, like, is that its fusion cutter hand? Wait, which hand is the fusion cutter? It has like a claw hand, and then it has like the hand that it actually stabs with. Which one is the stabby hand? I think it's the right hand. very important to answer that question. We'll check next time the blades are pulled. Why can't they attack with both hands? Meanwhile, Reaper Micro. Will there be a Ling killed? I'm sure Kiwian is dedicated. There's literally nothing else for him to do. It's time to micro. That is your only job. Oh, he wants to get... I never understand this. Like, one of the most relevant things and one of the biggest things you can do with the early Reaper is kill the first creep tumor. But almost without fail, I see Terran players poking and prodding at the Lings until they're at not nearly enough HP to challenge the first creep tumor. And that to me, like okay, poke, but when the queen comes out or the Lings are getting close, back off. But it seems that so many players are just like, no, I need to do every tiny bit of micro and then I'll heal. And then the creep tumor comes out and they can't challenge it. So. And then they do challenge it and lose the Reaper. You Terrans, you gotta think more than like 4 seconds ahead. Stim is on the way. Kiwian. He's given Parting a 2-on-1. I have to imagine Kiwian's doing the build. I'm not... I mean, let's put it this way. How is Parting's Terran? I'm undefeated against Parting's Terran. 2-0, baby. One is Zerg and one is Protoss, so... Let's put it that way. $14 Lings on the way. The 2-on-1's coming together in a very timely manner. It runs like it could just win. They're building a lot of drones. Usually you don't want more than like 45 drones or so. If you get more than that, you're running the risk of simply not having enough Lings and or Queens to shut down the early attack. But do they even know this is what's happening? They don't. So that's part of it. Team Baguette doesn't realize that this is going to be that early medevac pressure. Now, the fact that no Hellions have come out yet is a little suspicious, for sure. Like, the Hellions... What? There's a Ling! The Ling spots the medevacs! That Ling just saved much of this game. Well, that's terrible. How did that Ling even get in? Just jumped over the depots. Every 1 out of 50 Lings has a genetic mutation. Okay. Really worked out for him. That's how Cyril does it. Unfortunately for Team Kimchi, seeing this as it comes out doesn't have nearly the impact as if it had been hidden until it dropped. It could... So, what else could it have been? Sure, it probably was going to be something like this, but there was still a chance in the mind of Team Baguette that this was maybe like a battle cruiser play, that he was holding on to the... Well, they were holding on to the battle cruisers or something like that. No, as soon as you see the medevacs, all doubt is removed. You know exactly what it is. So, this is doing very little. The Marines will stim. The medevacs... I mean, oh, what? They somehow slide by into the mineral line. The pickup... Did he get all the Marines out? Oh, what a slick pickup there. The 2-base push continues. There's not a third command center, at least for now. A tank is going to join up. Will he siege? No. No need to siege yet. Mainling speed is on the way, and that's going to be the big decider. By the time this push reaches an important location, whether it be the 4th base or maybe the 3rd, will there be mainling speed? +1 melee attack is not on the way. Only +1 infantry weapons here for KIMCHI. Mainling speed is about 20-30 seconds out. A decent chunk of queens. The tanks can be targeted. They're in a nice spot by the rocks. They're waiting it out. 7 seconds on Baneling speed. More Banelings on the way. They're desperately needed. Baneling speed done now. They start rolling. Tanks obliterate them. More units coming up, but the Banelings getting into a real annoying spot. The Lings gonna... Ooh, wait a second. This is getting super awkward here. Now, The tanks are taken out. That was the backbone of the attack. But with no banelings, these Marines become very cost-effective. He's going to pick up one medevac, taking a lot of damage. A couple Marines left behind, and it looks like Team Baguette. By that much. Honestly, though, like a half a dozen less lings, and I think you just stand your ground and gun down all the lings. The baneling speed finishes with no time to spare. And suddenly now, I like that burrow starting. Team Baguette has a worker lead. They have 4 bases. Is there a macro hatch? There probably will be soon. Burrow is on the way. They don't only want to win. They want to win with style. Remember that one time Scarlet did baneling mines against Bomber like 6 years ago? Wasn't that sick? Why didn't anybody do that? Well, when you have 2 eyes, 2 sets of 4 eyes, it's a little easier to land those baneling mines without taking away from everything else. I like how, even though it's 2 players combining their APMs, Team Baguette is still barely over Rainer's average. Banelings try to roll in, not finding the opportunity. 1 drop heading out. Now they could, if one player, if say Kiwian is focused on macro, he can still micro 1 drop while Parting micros another one. Or, of course, Parting could put his focus on both the drops. I'm actually going to try to figure out who's who in this right now. What is Parting doing? This is the Parting action cam. He's got both drops under control. Oh, moving in. Eats the banelings, tries to get more. Another drop. This is happening. I mean, like, there's not much else to do. Oh, the link somehow slipped through. I mean, as in a normal game, like, if this was Angry Coach in a 1v1, I'd be like, Parting, what is this tunnel vision? But Kiwian's handling the macro, Parting handling the pinpoint micro on the, oh god, on some of the Marines. Meanwhile, a scan, I think, spotted the hive. Yes. Okay. Oh. Team Baguette, a little down in supply, but it's about to explode. In the next minute, they should be maxed out. Probably quicker than that. 86 drones. We got 5 hatch production coming up. 6 hatch with the macro hatch. There's no reason not to build huge groups of units. They're not supply block. 2-2's on the way. Hive is finishing. Team KIMCHI has to put something together with 2-2 finishing. They have a nice amount of SCVs. But if they're up against 5 bases, there's no competing with that. Baneling mines! Baneling mines! Okay, I'm sorry. They're really trying. Like, you got to be careful. Like, the baneling mines can't be in the front because that's too obvious. But they also don't want to be too far off, otherwise they do nothing. So, I think they really want the baneling mines at this point. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. Two Vipers. Dun, dun, dun. The bait. The bait. Oh, is it masterful enough? He's running them. He's oh, he wants it so bad. Oh, God. And the classic, oh, I got hit by baneling mines. Now it's time to scan out of reflex. Every now and again, there's another set of baneling mines they don't trigger. I guess that helps. But it actually worked this time. Right? This is still a strong army from Team KIMCHI. Oh, that's a lot of banelings from every angle. He accidentally picks up some of the... Oh, everything's dead. Everything dies. It's all over. Question mark, says Denver. I don't think he's asking a question. C-ball. We got the gist. So, by their powers combined, Team Baguette is able to take the Archon victory. But, in the individual and 2v2 match, Team KIMCHI takes it. So, a split decision here. But whose victories were worth more? It's up to you to decide. Go check out Kiwian and Parting. I think Denver streams on a pretty regular basis. Clem should. But yeah, Kiwian and Parting. Parting sometimes Like, his schedule is stream, blackout, wake up, stream. Did the stream turn off at some point? Maybe. Go check him out. But thank you to Kiwian for sending me that. Let me take a look. Thank you to the players. Thank you to you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Which match was more valuable? Which match was better? And who do you want to see challenge either Team Kimchi or Team Baguette? Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, Kappa in the chat. Shiba, good luck, have fun. And thank you for watching.